You got 3 eggs.
Yeah, I've got 2. Two of them.
Full of shit.
Has everyone come through unscathed?
Yep, everyone's good to go.
How's Ellis Gedge's foot?
Yeah, good. It's completed a full week of training, scrummaging well. Good to go.
Wales tomorrow. Quite a bit of rain around. How big is this forward battle? How important is this forward battle going to be?
I think in every game of rugby, the forward battle's huge. And if you get the maul on top, you get the scrum on top, you can control the game. I think with the weather implications, it's just heightened.
And this Welsh front row, they've changed their entire front row, haven't they? What do you make of what you're up against?
Yeah, so I think the thing for us, we've concentrated on what we can do well, and we're just focusing on getting to the contest. We want to get to the contest. They've got some good players in that group. They've got some good experience. They've got some good young players coming into it. But what we focus on this week is just ensuring that we get to the contest.
Well, how are you feeling ahead of this game? What does it mean to you? You know, Wales love to take on England, but what does it mean as an English player to take on Wales?
Yeah, it's massive. It's massive. I think obviously loads is made of the rivalry, but they're a great side. They keep battling, and that's like part of the DNA that we pride ourselves on as well. So it's always a big occasion.
How do you combat that fire, that extra desire that they will bring?
It's more about focusing on ourselves and that. You don't want to be dragged into certain ways of playing, and I think you focus on yourselves. And yeah, it's just always it's a big occasion.
It's an interesting assumption to assume they would have an extra desire than us.
Well, they're playing England, the old enemy. It's something you get used to as an England player, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's rivalries both ways.
Right. And in terms of the atmosphere, how can Twickenham, how can the fans help as well? Warren Gatton was saying yesterday he doesn't feel intimidated by the atmosphere here. How can the fans help you in that?
I think for me, when the atmosphere here is electric, it's the best place I've ever played, and that's on us as players to get the crowd going like that, to play in a way that, in a dominant way that gets them going like that. So yeah, it's on us to provide performances to really push on the crowd to spur us on.
And a bit of an experience in the front row, Wales, Kieran Saratic, you've got 3 caps. Is that something you can exploit, do you think, at scrum time?
He's a good player. I've played against him, I think, in the first couple of caps that he had, and then against Cardiff this year. So he's a good scrummager. They've got Archie Griffin, who's at Bath with me, his first cap, who's also a young lad, got a big future. So obviously on paper they're untested, but they're good players. And
just on you personally, do you feel like a real opportunity now to get a run in the side and cement your place as a starter in this team post World Cup?
Yeah, obviously that's the goal for every player. So just trying to take the opportunity as it comes and put your best foot forward.
Thank you.
Tom, is it a bit of a frustration that there's this perception that Wales or Celtic nations have a monopoly on desire and passion?
There's not a frustration. I think this group we've got of England players is a special group. I think they've come together really, really well. They've gelled together, and they just want to play at an intensity that makes our supporters proud.
Will, when did you first become aware of the England-Wales rivalry?
I've got an old school friend who pretends he's Welsh and supports Wales and would aggressively get annoyed when England beat Wales, and then now he's got mixed loyalties. So him and his family are kind of, I think they say they're Welsh. I'm not 100% sure, but from then on, it was ingrained quite early on watching games, England-Wales games as a young kid with him. Yeah.
England's most recent game at Twickenham was a disappointing afternoon against Fiji. How much does this feel like a fresh start? With that in mind, how important is it to get off from the left foot?
Yeah, I mean that Fiji game feels like a long time ago now. Obviously, at the end of a more successful World Cup campaign. And just what we've been doing in training the last few weeks, for me, I've kind of been in and around squads for the last 4 years, really, and this is the most together I felt a team, an England team, and yeah, massively excited to put a positive stamp at Twickenham and really cement this as a hard place to come and play.
And Jamie George was saying that he wants the team to be unafraid to show their passion, the players to show their passion. What does that look like for you?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm the most outwardly shouty or passionate bloke, but inside there's a lot there. So you might occasionally get a shout or two after a scrum pen or something like that, but apart from that, it's catching breath and going again.
And how do you pick yourself up for a game? What's your process for that?
I like to be kind of relaxed as possible till we start strapping at the hotel, and then it's kind of headphones on and be with myself a little bit. Everyone's pretty different, I think. Some people are pretty relaxed till kick off, but no, it's different for everyone really.
Will, you started both those games against Wales in the World Cup warm-ups. Do they mean anything, or is it a fresh slate, clean slate now?
I think it gave me a bit of an insight into how Wales play, and what that kind of game, an England-Wales game, demands of you. And so it's massive experience on that front. It's the first time I started against Wales, so no, it is a slightly different game, and yeah, it's a game that's obviously we lost that first warm-up game, and then won with 12 men at Twickenham here in the warm-up in the second one, which was again what I said is part of what we want our DNA to be: never stop fighting in worse circumstances, come out on top. So.
And Jamie, your front row colleague, leading England out at Twickenham for the first time. How's he been this week? Excited?
Yeah, no, he's a great character, Jamie. Yeah, he's I know he's obviously very from Sarri. He's similar style to Faz, but he's as a front row himself. It's good to see a front row lead the team out.
And unchanged England team must mean quite a lot to you as well, just on a personal level, just to keep going at it. I said I think this is my first Six Nations kind of. I've started a couple of Six Nations games here and there, but it's the first time I've started consecutively. So to try and put best foot forward and really capitalise.
Tom, what was your sort of takeaway from last week's game? What are you looking for the lads to do in particular this weekend in terms of improvement?
So I think for us as a coaching team, we want to see improvement in some of our work in our defence, our intensity we go out there. So we've worked hard on this week. Around the set piece, just an improvement on the scrum. Like I said, getting to the contest. So there's two scrums in our ball where we didn't get past the set thing. It's gone down. So we seek some clarification from World Rugby there, and had some stuff to work on around how we keep a gap on the crouch.
Thank you. Tom, you spoke during the World Cup about the benefit to you of having people like Dan and Joe who have played a lot of Test rugby. How valuable is it to have them sticking around for this next little period? And also, in terms of the way you're configuring them with one starting, one off the bench, is that quite a deliberate strategy to just have those two really experienced scrummagers ensuring an 80-minute effort?
I hadn't thought of it in that terms of a strategy. So Steve picked a team, and Steve will pick the best team to go out and win, and we'll support them there. So it's the team selected for this game. In terms of having them around, brilliant. I think what they've realised is how they can enjoy the environment as well. So it's intense and it's a demanding environment, but they've also showing the younger lads actually you can still enjoy yourself with the bond that they've made through international rugby. In terms of mentoring the younger players, they've been brilliant. We was always speaking to Dan. Sometimes not always about scrums, but they're always speaking to each other.
Last week you talked about re-establishing the scrum and the stuff about getting through the contest and the way that England were giving away penalties quite often before it even got to the engaged sometimes. So what's stage 2 of the sort of scrum plan? What's year 2 look like? Where do you want to get to this year with reinvigorating the scrum?
So you've got to get to the contest, and then it's about building pressure. Scrum then builds pressure, so what I mean by that is either a platform you can play off to attack or penalties to move down the pitch. I think that would be stage 2 for us.
And how do you go about that? Does it help that you think you've changed that perception around the scrum last year? Because I remember when you came in before, you were saying that, and some of the other props were saying that there was a perception that England didn't have the cleanest scrum, but you feel like you've solved that. So is that a good platform for Ben this year?
I think as a coach in any sport, especially in this role, you're always looking to develop and push on and progress. So it's a platform to build off. I think the key thing is when I've been working hard with Nathan Cat with this and in the 20s program, and the next guy's coming up, is just showing that there is a pipeline of front row that can come through and add and grow and grow and grow and grow, especially around getting to the contest and then, like I said, building pressure in that contest.
Tom, how often are you talking to Nathan? How often are you looking sort of down that in order of the young guys coming through?
So outside, well, in camp I'm speaking to him once a week. Outside of camp it's twice, 3 times a week. We have spent, international coaching when you're not in camp is a lot of driving, a lot of going to clubs. So you do a lot of phoning around. I'd speak to you on Tuesday at 4 o'clock every single day, every single week. We book it in. There's a lot of that. So what I would do is, if I was going to visit Bath or Bristol area, because Nathan lives down that way, I'd meet Nathan as well. And make sure that we're aligned in what we're trying to coach, and we're keeping and challenging each other on our coaching. I think he's doing a fantastic job at the moment with some of those young guys coming through.
He's generally excited by the guys coming through.
Yeah, I'm excited by the guys coming through. I'm excited by the guys we've got. Just making sure that we put that pipeline in place and we take as much as we can from the guys who could be moving on and currently in the group, to ensure that the England set piece and the England scrum continues to move forward over the next few years.
Tom, do you speak to other coaches or players from other countries too? I know maybe not right now when you're in the Six Nations, but get their sense of how they build their scrums, or you go abroad and tap into different ideas and things like that.
Yeah, so I would have done a lot of work with Mike Cron previously. So he's before I moved into this role when I was at Leicester, and I would have spent a lot of time speaking to different coaches around various things, just trying to seek 3 or 4% and to challenge my thinking, my mental model of the scrum. See if there's anything I can be doing differently and better to ensure that we keep moving forward.
What would you say are the nuggets you've got from Mike Cron over you?
It's too many to mention.
Anything at all?
Okay, guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Cheers.